Okay, this takes a second. Got a friend request from Leslie Thomas. Is that one of your people?
That's my daughter.
Okay, hang on. Let me get her on so she can watch the show.
Nice shirt, Pat.
Oh yeah, the Tommy said that.
That's great.
My mom
That's
got
great.
it at the tournament clear back at, in 80.
I got one. It doesn't fit.
I squeezed into this one.
I'll bet you did. Yeah, I'm sure the arms don't work.
You're having a hard time even lifting them.
Okay, you guys will be able to comment while I'm showing this video, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we are live.
Good looking outfit, Rudy.
He even wore them in grade school at St.
Did he?
Thomas. Yeah.
Oh, what? I don't see anything.
Are you not seeing the video, Tom?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, this is where Pat dunks, in the game. So this is great. This is the good part.
Did I click on share screen or do I have to click on something, Boo?
I'm not sure.
It says share screen.
Try it. You're missing the starting lineups of our, not sure what game this is. I think it's probably the first game.
Yeah, just let me know what's going on, Rich. Can you see it?
Yeah, here comes Whittick. We're wearing the white uniforms, so that would have been one of the first games.
Yeah. I can't tell which game. There's Rich.
Goofy looking guy. nice hair. You can say that about everybody.
Yeah, the old 80s.
No, go to Curley Boo Johnson's Facebook. There's Pat.
Yeah.
40 years ago, man. Look at them shorts.
Look at those arms.
Yeah. I wore the
Arms
same
don't look
ones.
like that anymore.
A little bit bigger.
All right. Fellas, good to see you.
Thanks for having us, Boo.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Celebrating Greater Peoria's rich basketball history. Youngsters these days need to do their homework. Well, here's another lesson. Here's the 1980 Peoria Bergan Class A state championship runner-up. 1980 from Bergan, from Peoria. We got Tom Gillis. We have Rich Amberg, and we also have Pat Thomas. How you doing, fellas? And happy Thanksgiving to you early.
Doing great. Thanks for having
me.
us.
Doing great.
Brings back a lot of memories, but we should have won that game. That's all I'm saying. We were up 6 going into the beginning of the fourth quarter, and still not sure how we lost it.
Yeah, you guys had them on the ropes. I watched that game again for the second time earlier this afternoon, and you had Luther South reeling, and the ball didn't bounce your way towards the stretch, but what a hell of a run that you guys had. It was amazing. And I was a sophomore at Richwoods at the time and saw you guys firsthand. So it's a pleasure to have you on. But to begin things off, I gotta ask you guys how you got started. You're all Peoria boys, correct?
I'm
Yes.
actually from Kickapoo.
Tom's
So-
a Kickapoo boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's a little different than Peoria. It was a lot less people in Kickapoo than Peoria.
Kickapoo is in the house strong right now. So I'm going to go with Tom. Tell me what it was like growing up in Kickapoo / Peoria, and who put the ball in your court? Who got you started? Where'd you go to grade school? Who were your rivals in grade school? Tell us all how it all began.
We had a real simple life, 250 people population. I went to St. Mary's grade school, which was a Catholic school, and we did not have basketball or baseball in that school. So my start was at Peoria Lutheran Church with Paul Rutherford and Butch Frakes. And that was the only organization that, I could get started with. And to be honest with you, I just loved playing basketball and baseball. I had no idea if I was good or not. I mean, got started with them and I just, over the years with Paul Rutherford, he was firm, but he really took me under his wing. And I think he did because he knew that, our grade school never had basketball and we didn't have any organization or coaches there. So I think he took a role for me that I needed at the time, a little bit of leadership and mentorship, I guess.
Well, living in Kickapoo, what were your options to go to high school? Is that Brimfield District? Is that the closest school that would be to your house?
Yeah, Brimfield or Bergan. And my father told my mom, he said he's going to go to Bergan and going to go to in there and play against some tougher competition. Nothing against Brimfield. They had some great teams. And I remember walking into Bergan after graduating 8th grade with 13 people in our class.
What number were you in your class?
Well, there was
10.
only 5. There was only 5 boys.
Hey,
And I
top 10,
walked
Tommy.
into Bergen, yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is huge!" There's 4 halls and there's a principal's office, and I was absolutely scared to death.
And Rudy was the coach your freshman year?
Well, Rudy was a sophomore coach, and it was really interesting because I was just shooting around in the gym one day, and Rudy came over and asked me who I was. And within 5 minutes, he asked me to come out for the sophomore team. And so I played sophomores, and then I played some freshmen. And I think I even dressed a couple games as a freshman. And then Rudy was the varsity coach my sophomore year.
Mhm.
And of course, that year I dressed varsity. I came off the bench pretty early in the game and played for him, and then junior and senior year. So I actually had Rudy for 4 years. Just a father figure to me. We had a great relationship. I know one thing, that he yelled at Pat a lot and he never yelled at me at all.
Yeah, we could be coming down the court and Tommy'd throw the ball away and Rudy'd be like, "Pat, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Coach."
Here comes Casey.
Yep, here comes Casey. Yep.
Oh. Okay, well, what about you, Rich? Please tell me your basketball maturation.
Sure. I probably just started with my dad. I mean, what I most remember about my dad was, I would make him come out in the backyard and pitch to me and we'd play wiffle ball, and I was just a little scored at the time, and he, he'd come home from work and he'd be tired, and it'd be after dinner. I was like, "Come on, Dad, you got to pitch to me. Come on, let's go." and he would every time. And he was dead. I know now that he was dead tired and he didn't want to do it, but he did it every night. And Boo, when we grew up, there was nothing else to do. I mean, you went outside and played. I mean, so I didn't play any organized basketball until, probably fifth grade, and intramurals at St. Phil's, and then we had the Catholic League, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And Pat, I know you were a part of that, and grade school basketball was a blast. I mean, we had good teams, and everybody was pretty evenly matched. I mean, it was a lot of good players, but a lot of guys that, matured early and didn't stick around or didn't last long enough like Pat and I did. I mean, I think Pat and I were both kind of late bloomers and weren't stars on our grade school teams. We just liked to play, and we played, and we just kept hanging around until somebody told us, can we keep coming back? Yeah, sure, keep coming back. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's what we did.
Did you play in Paul Rutherford's league as well? At
No.
First English Lutheran Church, if I remember right.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I know nothing about that.
Okay, so living in Kickapoo, why did you decide to go to Bergan as opposed to a school that was closer, which is Brimfield, correct? Brimfield, maybe Elmwood, if I'm not mistaken.
Talking to me, Boo?
Talking to Rich.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was as a St. Phil's guy. I mean, it was either Bergan or Spalding, and I was the youngest of 4 kids, and all my siblings went to Bergan, so it was
Okay.
I was going to Bergan, and it didn't matter to me at the time. So so I ended up at Bergan. There was kind of no doubt for me that that's what I was going to do. So
Okay. All right, Pat. Pat, did you grow up on the mean streets of Peoria or the mean streets of Kickapoo?
Oh, I was a Peoria boy. Lived in the north side of Peoria.
Okay.
I always loved basketball. My dad worked with me. He played high school basketball, and he worked with me. I'd shoot for hours in that driveway, and ended up going to St. Thomas and played with Casey Welch and Bob Shermer there at St. Thomas. And Rudy, my 8th grade year, was the coach. So I had Rudy, in grade school and then again in high school. So it's a great experience.
Yeah, so Spalding was out of the question.
Yeah, I was Bergan boy. I wanted to go to Bergan.
All right. Well, you guys get to Bergan, and what was it like as freshmen? I know that you played up as a sophomore, Tom, correct?
Yeah.
And you guys, did you get moved up your sophomore year? Pat and Rich?
Go ahead,
Pat.
Rich. Oh, okay. Basically, Boo, when I got to Bergan, I was about 5 foot tall and 100 pounds soaking wet. So I was like I think they had 20 guys on the team, and I was probably the 20th player on the team.
Oh.
But then sophomore year, grew a little bit, started getting a little more playing time. Then junior year, I backed up Tommy. And senior year, I won the starting job. So that was kind of my path at Bergan.
Well, can you guys name some of the players, some of the great players of the Mid-State 10 Conference that you had to face during your time at Bergan?
Altenberger, Lee,
Doug Lee of Washington. Oh, yeah.
Doug Lee, and
Those
Doug
guys
Lee
were
and I
okay.
went head to head a few times. Cole, obviously, and McCabe went after it a lot of times. Rich, who were some of the guys that you kind of had to guard?
I remember guys like Mike Dunn at Limestone. He was a stud. Tom Townsley from Washington. Gus Mason. He was a handful. Yeah, those guys are good. How about Otis Westerfeld? Remember him from Richwood?
He was the quickest guard outside Tommy I ever saw in my life.
Yep.
Otis.
He was something. He was
good.
something. And then the kid from Washington was my biggest challenge to guard, Dan Witzig. He was a tremendous guard.
He lit us up one night at our place.
Yeah, yeah.
Night. We were playing with that lopsided ball. Remember Bob Shermer's?
Yeah.
He couldn't miss with us. Oh, we can get a round ball in here.
Yeah. There were so many great players. I remember in the tournament we played in, I think it was it Kankakee? There was a guard that Dan Pelakudis who ended up going to Michigan. He was a good player too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, some of the best dunkers though was Tony Martin and Pierre Cooper, because I was running under them as they were flying over me.
I saw that this afternoon, but I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I didn't know if I could take a charge, or I thought I'd get killed, so I figured I'd just keep going.
Tony is one of my Facebook friends, and he's probably watching. I haven't checked my phone to see who's viewing, but he may be watching. I know those guys from Chicago because several of them lived in my grandparents' neighborhood. But I remember that you guys had that tile floor. You know, I was just a sophomore when you guys were seniors, and you called it the kitchen. They have a wooden floor now, but they still call it the kitchen. And I remember you guys used to pack that place, and your fans were crazy, and it was very tough to play there. So it was tough to play in the kitchen. Where did you guys play in which you thought that was the toughest venue to play in the Mid-State 10?
Richwoods.
Really?
I agree, Richwoods, yeah.
We had some battles with them, and I think they beat us our senior year both times by like 2 points, maybe 2 to 4 points. It was always a battle with Cole and Altenberger, but it always went to the last, couple minutes. And I think that we got a lot of respect from them. They didn't take us lightly. And I know it being in the Mid-State 10, we went to the tournament as Class A, but we were not taken lightly by anybody in the Mid-State 10. And when we got in the Class A tournament, we did not take any Class A teams lightly either. We just kept doing our thing, working hard, playing hard. And actually, Sterling Newman had us beat that night. They were whomping on us the whole night. I think we had the first lead and the last lead of the game. And that was it.
Well, I remember that Richwoods team very well. I was a sophomore. I didn't dress varsity, but of course, being a sophomore, you go to almost every single game because you play the preliminary game. And I remember Terry Cole at center, and Mike O'Brien, the great Vince Simpson, young Doug Altenberger, who was a sophomore, and Otis Westerfield at the point. And they ran the table in the conference that year, and you guys did give them their closest games. So who's that?
That's just my wife sneaking in.
Angie.
Yeah.
Hey, Boo, one of your fans, Angie Ashman's trying to find this. How does she find this?
My Facebook.
I know.
It's on my Facebook. Wow. All she got to do is go to my Facebook. Wow, Angie.
She told me you guys go way back. So
yes, they had a basketball court in their driveway, and her brother Bob and I were very close friends and JFL teammates. So their rim was low. I used to go over there all the time and play, and then I would go inside, and their mom would cook dinner, and their house was like a Notre Dame museum.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Notre Dame everywhere. Notre Dame cushions, Notre Dame TV, Notre Dame chandelier, Notre Dame everything. So yeah, we do go back to the 70s when I was in grade school.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Tell her it's on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Huh?
Yeah. But back to the lecture at hand. That year, the Mid-State 10 conference is tough every year, but that was the first year that you guys were Class A. So I believe your enrollment dropped to 720 something odd students, and you guys dropped down to Class A. Was that always in the back of your mind that, okay, once the season is over, we don't have to go through a regional that might, where you might have to play Manual, Richwoods, Central, or even Washington. And I heard you say a little bit earlier, Tom, that you guys didn't take anybody for granted. But
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and Rich and Pat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I never heard Rudy talk about it all year, and I never even thought about it.
wow.
I mean, I figured if we're double A, we're double A. If we're A, we're A, and it didn't matter to us. We were going to go play. And I just, until he actually told us, and even after he told us, I just knew we were going to go play in a tournament. And yeah, I knew it was going to be some smaller schools. And, we did have some people talking a little schmack about playing us, like Peoria Heights, I believe. Remember that, Pat? And
Yeah.
they were going to stop me and McCabe. And McCabe and I had 26 each by the first half, and they had to get out of the game. And I think we won by 36. So, when they said stuff like that, that wasn't real smart.
Yeah.
We when we were going through that year, I mean, first of all, we were worried about the conference. I mean, we wanted to beat Richwoods. We wanted to beat Central. We wanted to beat those guys. And so every night that we played, it was a great game. I mean, we did pretty well in the conference, but we didn't blow anybody out ever. I mean, every game was tight, and it was fun. And but when we got into the tournament, I mean, we had some success, but I don't think we were smart enough to realize that, we were just went out and played, and funny story about Peoria Heights, their coach was Vic Rashid. And I got to know Vic very well, and I coached his kids in grade school at St. Phil's, years later. And he and we would talk about it every once in a while. And he thought that, they had a shot against us, but most of the teams that
a shot in the ass.
Most of the teams that kind of said
82 to 44.
We got two guys that are pretty good. Well, our two guys are really good. So yeah, that's how that went.
38 point win. Wow. 82 to 44.
Yeah. So
that's a real shot.
And Pat can attest to this. Pat worked his butt off defensively. And I think when we got in the tournament, people knew we could score, but we had played in the Mid-State 10, and we had to play defense against some great players. So I think our defense was so much better than these Class A teams. I don't think they took that into consideration. So what do you think, Pat, about that?
Well, I think the big thing, guarding like Otis Westerfield and some of those guards. And then when I got to Class A defending them, it was a different level of quickness and speed. And I think our quickness and speed, which was probably average, in the Mid-State 10, really took over in the Class A state tournament, our speed and quickness and just size. I know a lot of teams struggled against our press. We used the 1-2-1-1 press, and Heights really struggled with that. And, I just think the big difference in quickness and speed.
Well, I see that you guys, of course, cruised through the regional. First of all, you gave Dunlap a whooping, 84 to 62. And then Elmwood, 68 to 51. And of course, Peoria Heights, you gave them the blues. But then you guys get to the sectional, and Sciata Northwestern, I don't even know where that is. I've never heard of that before. You guys blow them out by 30, 68 to 38. And then here comes Monmouth, and you beat them in the sectional championship, 74 to 31. So how did you guys feel? You guys had to be feeling pretty confident after breezing through a sectional regional and sectional the way that you did.
Yeah, we did, but Sterling Newman, to be honest with you, I mean, Rudy sent somebody to watch them and stuff, but we really hadn't heard a lot about them throughout the year. And I don't think for 1 second we took the game lightly. I just think they jumped on us early. They were hot. They were just shooting out of their mind. And the next thing you know, I think it was like 17-4 in the first quarter, if I remember correctly. And then we were down, I don't know, maybe 15 at half. And the one thing I remember about that game, and I don't think I ever told Rich and Pat about this, but when we came out of the locker room, I was the last one out, and Rudy grabbed me by the arm and he goes, "Put it up." And I go,
He
"Oh,
did that every game, Tom.
I mean, normally I was pretty shy about shooting, but when he said "Put it up," so we come out, and I mean, I don't know. I guess I started firing up, and McCabe, and we just kind of, the third quarter we got a little bit closer, but in the fourth quarter, we got it down to where it was a possibility, that we might come back. And I'll tell you what happened. And Pat, you correct me if I'm wrong, but there was about 14 seconds left. We were down by 1. And I think Pat turned a guy over on the side of the court, and I trapped him. Now, all he's got to do is hold the ball, and we got a foul. He tried to pass it, and I just stuck my hand out, and it just barely touched off one of my fingertips. And I went down the left side of the court, and when I went up, I felt somebody coming across to block it. And I think I double pumped and put it off the board with like 3 or 4 seconds. And I still would like to see that. I haven't even seen it since it's happened. But is that how it happened, Pat?
Well, we ran a man-to-man press called the turn and trap. And I remember chasing that kid down the sideline, and I turned him, and you came over and trapped, and he looked really panicked, and he tried to step over and make a bounce pass, and you tipped it, and you just went down the court. I was following you, and you did a double pump just to make sure, and you put it in and won the game.
I remember having a lot of cheerleaders laying on us after the game. Remember that, guys?
Yeah,
that was incredible.
I remember that. I remember that fondly. And normally we would, like you said earlier, Pat, we'd be in our 1-2-1-1 press.
Yeah.
And we weren't. I mean, we had scored, we had got it to 1, but there was not much time left. And in my mind, I'm going, I got to grab some guy. I got to follow him. We're in trouble here. We're running out of time. And you guys had it under control the whole way. So, so I shouldn't have worried.
I knew Tom was going to make it. The minute he went down the court, I said, this game's history.
that was the single greatest moment of our season.
Yeah,
without
it was
a doubt.
unbelievable feeling.
And you stuck your hand out and you stole the ball and you're going in for an uncontested layup. And then I watch you double clutch it. I'm like, what are you doing? You had it the whole way. I was never in doubt. Fun times.
A 56-55 win over Sterling Newman for the Super Sectional Championship. And now you guys are on to state, and it's the first ever appearance for Bergan downstate. So what was it like? Because if I remember, more often than not, the Super Sectional game is on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then I think you go to state maybe on Thursday, stay in a hotel, and your first game is Friday morning or Friday early afternoon or evening. So with that being said, what was it like after you guys won the Super Sectional and you go back to school for 2 more days?
Yeah.
And what was that like, the school spirit and the excitement about you guys going downstate?
We were like rock stars, man. We didn't have to go to class. All we did was walk around the halls.
The whole state tournament was just a buzz. I mean, everyone was just so excited, and that's all anyone talked about. And you'd be at lunch and they'd be like, where we're going to play at, I forget where our sectional was at, Bushnell Prairie City.
Bushnell.
Where is that? Where is that? How do you get there? What, you know, and they talked about this little dome that they played in, and okay, you guys can't, just wait till you guys get there. It'll be, and it was pretty exciting. It was a small court, but it was packed and it was a lot of fun. But the last 2 days after winning the super sectional and the way that we did it, yeah, it was just a blast. I mean, the student body was just, they were just beside themselves. It was just so much fun.
We had
Pat?
great support. The students, I remember our pep rally when we left the school to go to Champaign. That was a great pep rally. And I mean, we had great fans. I mean, they followed us everywhere.
Didn't they?
Yeah. And it was just an awesome experience. Just great.
Well, okay, when you guys get to Champaign, this kind of reminds me of the movie Hoosiers when they step into Butler Arena and they look around and it says Hickory, and you guys get there and you see how big Assembly Hall is. What were you guys thinking when you went in for practice?
It was like me going in for the first day at Bergan. I was just like, whoa. And but you know, we settled in pretty quick, and Rudy was really good at I mean, Rudy was pretty smooth. I mean, he never got, unless he was yelling at Pat, he didn't get
Yeah. Which he did.
Did he yell at you in grade school too, Pat?
Oh yeah. I heard it a lot. But I remember pulling up to the assembly hall and oh my gosh, it was all lit up, and I had been watching it for the state tournament for years and years, and just the excitement and seeing that it looked like a spaceship and it was all lit up, and I thought, man, we're going to be in there playing, and what a feeling.
Well, I just remember watching it as a kid growing up, thinking, oh, wouldn't that be great to go there, and you know, when you've got Richwoods and Central in your district, you're like, well, you know, how are we going to get by these guys? You know, and then when we went we're Class A, it's like, well, okay, now we got a chance, but let's get through the mid-state 10 first, and you know, but then once we got in that tournament, and then we all knew what we wanted, and we wanted to get there, and it was pretty exciting.
It's a kid's dream. They grew up in the state of Illinois, wanted to play, you know, in the assembly hall, and you know, we did it. And that's something I'll never forget.
Did you guys stay in a hotel, or did you commute back and forth?
We stayed.
We stayed.
Yeah, we had a hotel.
Did you guys have roommates, or did you stay 2 or 3 to a room?
I think it was 4 of us to a room.
4 of us.
4. How many beds?
2. This was Catholic high school. We didn't have any money. That was you guys just shut up and like it, okay?
Did you guys have a curfew? Did you have somebody on the staff, maybe Tim Sack, come check on you guys to make sure that you are not out partying or frolicking or?
Yeah, Brad, Zevnik, and Sack followed us around everywhere. No, Rudy knew we were not going to go out.
That was not a problem.
Wow.
Saturday night was different. Now that's a different story, but Friday night we were good.
Yeah.
Okay. So your first opponent is a downstate power, Madison, who every other year they're in the tournament. And no, your first opponent was Gibson City, which is a basketball city in itself. And you guys disposed of them 65-55. And I believe they had no answer for McCabe. McCabe dominated them. And then you guys played Madison and dropped them 57-51. So can you fill in the blanks with those 2 games? The quarterfinal and the semifinal?
I'll take the first game. Gibson City, I shot horrible, handled the ball okay. McCabe completely dominated those guys. I think the score was a lot closer than the game was. What do we win by 10, maybe 9 or 10?
Exactly. 10 points, 65-55.
Yeah, but Scott got off to a great start. I think Rich played a great game. I think we had some role players come in and out, and Pat always played great defense. And I'll tell you right now, Pat was probably our best free throw shooter. I think you were at 80%. I was at 79, but he
Yeah.
was always at home shooting free throws. I'd go over there and shoot with him, and his parents would make us these curled pizzas. I mean, it was like they almost doubled over. We'd eat those, but we were always shooting baskets. And yeah, he can hang with me at the free throw line. I'll give him that. But that's what I remember about that game. I couldn't find the hoop, but Scott took over.
What do you remember about those two games, Pat?
Well, Gibson City, our pressure hurt them a lot. We had that 1-2-1-1 diamond press, and our pressure hurt them, and Scott just destroyed them inside. And but our defensive pressure, I don't think they'd seen that before. The quickness and size that we had. And the Madison game was a great game. I mean, they beat Dunlap that basically with that same team we played the next year for the state title, and they had some great athletes and they were quick. We played a different defense that night. We played a 3-2 zone. We normally played man or 2-3, but we played a 3-2, and it was pretty effective against them. And it was a good game. They pressured us, we pressured them, but we handled their pressure really well.
A testament to Rudy Keeling to make the adjustments.
Yes.
To me, that's what makes a great coach is dealing with the adversity and making a move.
Yeah, they were really good shooters on the perimeter. So that gave us three, guys out on the front of the 3-2 zone. And that really, that helped cover their shooters a lot.
Pat,
how about you?
You know what I remember about that game?
What's that?
You passing me the ball and letting me dribble it up the court.
You would throw it to me, they trap me, and I gave it back to you, and you were gone like a bullet, behind the back, between the legs, you name it.
In the second half of that game, they were playing us man. They were pressuring us all over the court, and I would come down to help against the press. Well, you didn't really want me dribbling the ball, but you would lob it up to me to get it in bounds, and then I just throw it right back to you, and then press was over. Once they got it to me, and once I got rid of it, then the press was over. I mean, but if I still had it and they made me dribble, then it was still a press. Then it was still trouble. But I remember that. That's what we had to resort to in the second half, because they were really trying to crank it up on us, and they were good and they were quick.
Yeah, they were denying the inbounds pass, and that's why Rudy brought you and Whittick down and helped Tommy, lob it into you guys.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
they weren't very tall, but they were
athletic
and quick and good.
Oh yeah, they were tough. Yeah.
Now, do you guys remember in the Gibson City game? I remember kind of the scouting report that they got two guys that are pretty good. Their center is pretty good, and then they got a guard that's pretty good. And I guess we showed them how good our guys were. But I think the big thing about that game, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in any of the mid-state 10 games, nobody ever dunked the ball. I mean, that rarely happened, right?
Right.
But then Scott got away for a couple of dunks off of steals, and it was pretty exciting for us. And then we got to the championship game, and then we found out what dunking was really like.
Yeah. Did we ever?
Well, you guys now are in the championship game, and did you guys play the second game in this? Did you guys play the second semifinal?
Yes.
Which means that there's a quick turnaround.
Yes.
For the championship game. What did you do in between games? Were you guys so wired thinking about this championship game that you couldn't go back and get a nap, or maybe you didn't have an appetite? What'd you do in between the semifinal win and the championship game?
Rudy told us to just go rest. I remember just resting in our room, and
Yep.
that was pretty much it. I think we ate and then went over to the assembly hall, from what I remember.
Yeah, we were pretty relaxed. I mean, we still were very confident going into that game. I don't think a lot of people really thought we were going to play that well against Luther South, just because of their size and their quickness and their jumping ability and everything else. But I think Luther South, after that first quarter, kind of figured they might have their hands full with us.
Absolutely. That team with Tony Martin, who in Chicago was called the Levitator and had a reputation for dunking on people. And then you have Pierre Cooper, who was 6'7" and athletic. And then you got probably the greatest athlete in the history of Illinois sports, and Mike Conley, the one-man track team at point guard. And I saw that, Pat, you gave him some issues coming up the court. And I saw you rip him one time, and the referee called a foul on you. But I think that was back in the day when they said, if you reach, no reaching and all that. But it looked like you picked him clean on a couple occasions. But when you guys had to play a team with those athletes, and I think that they had maybe 10 dunks in 2 games prior to yours, did you guys feel that, man, we got to keep them from getting to the hoop? We got to make them make some jumpers. What was Rudy Keeling's game plan against that athleticism?
Go ahead, Pat.
I think we played a zone against them, from what I remember, but somewhat. Rich, what do you remember? Did we play man or?
No, I think we played some man, and I think we played some zone. But I remember Rudy saying, "We're going to press these guys. This is what we do."
Right.
And I think he was just saying, we're not going to back down to these guys. These guys are good, but
Right.
but we're gonna play our game, and we're gonna go after them. And you know, I wasn't smart enough back then to figure that out, but I think about it now and realize, yeah, that's exactly what he was doing. He was trying to give us confidence that we could play with these guys, and as good as they were, we were right there with them. I mean, we had our shot and just didn't fall our way, but
Boo,
The thing I remember. Go ahead, Tommy.
I was just going to ask Boo, do you have any idea how many free throws they shot compared to us? And
big difference.
It was a
Huge
big
difference.
And the other thing that I thought might have made a difference in the game, because they laid back and played that half-court offense or defense, was when we were up 6 points early in the fourth quarter. If we just would have maybe brought them out a little bit and held the ball, I just wondered what might have happened if they had to go one-on-one against us.
Yeah, you guys definitely had them on the ropes. And I watched the game again for the second time, and I believe you guys were down 4 right at the end of half, and you made an incredible shot where you ducked in between the two of their big guys, and Bank went off the glass, Tom, to bring you guys within 2. And then when you guys came out in the third quarter, I believe Whittick hit a couple of shots, and you guys took a lead. And next thing you know, it was nip and tuck up until I think late in the fourth. And you guys had them by the ropes. I said that earlier. You definitely had those guys by the ropes. They were an incredible team, but so were you guys. You guys were battle tested playing in the Mid-State 10, but they were battle tested coming from Chicago. So it was a great matchup. You had 2 parochial schools going up against each other. I thought it was a classic game.
Yeah, they were just huge.
Let me ask you something. You brought up a good point, and I've kind of thought about it over the years. And as good and as talented as Luther South was, they sat back and played a 2-3 zone. I mean, if they had come out and played us man to man, would they have beaten us by 30, or would we have handled them? I don't know. It would have been. I mean, that's a great question to ponder, because
I think you guys would have adjusted. I think you would have made the adjustment.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember very many teams playing us man to man? Richwoods would, but other than that, we ran the motion offense that we ran all summer long, and we tended to tear up man pretty easily. And then when they played zone, well, then it was a little tougher. But
yeah,
that's my recollection. What do you guys think?
I think Tommy made a good point.
That got me, Pat and I was talking about it. Bob Shermer played very well the first 2 games. Big guy, very physical, and he never played that night. And I just wondered what kind of impact he might have made and been able to get in there and move these guys around a little bit. So that was another thing that I always wondered about. Rich, I don't know if you thought about that, because you played with Oaf and a lot down there in the box.
He knew how to play in the post, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
The thing I remember is just their size, and I coached Class A basketball, for a lot of years, and never have I seen a Class A team ever like Luther South with that kind of size and athleticism. I remember running out thinking, are we playing Bradley? I mean, I thought we were playing a college team. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it, not even in our conference. And in years coaching Class A basketball, I've never seen a Class A team with that kind of size and athletic ability. Amazing.
Well, you guys take home the 2nd place trophy. And what did it mean to your families? What did it mean to them, what you guys accomplished? Because that's everybody's dream as a ball player. I mean, I'm from the same area that you guys are. That is a dream of all of us, to be able to go down state and to play on WGN and have Frank Bassoni call your name to come out there on the court and to play in Assembly Hall on that stage. What did it mean for your families?
Well, I'll tell you what, my mom used to make me French toast before our practices before school, and a guy would drive me from Kickapoo who worked in Peoria and drop me off. And my dad worked at Hiram Walker Bottling Company, and on Friday nights he had to work, so he would be so wondering, what the score was of the game, that he'd be on the phone calling on his breaks trying to, get a score. And they loved the fact that we practiced hard, but we played the game right. And whether we won or lost, they always got together with the other families at Happy Joe's. They got to build relationships with people, and they've got to meet new friends. And I think it just brought everybody into like a new community, and it was absolutely wonderful for them. And I know they just were very proud of all of us.
Awesome. Pat?
Well, my parents, they were ecstatic. My whole family was. My mom would get so nervous. I had to shoot free throws in like probably 5 or 6 games in the closing seconds. I remember that year. Limestone, Manual, Monmouth down, even 6 out of 6 from the line. She'd get so nervous, she'd leave the gym.
Wow.
She'd get so nervous.
Wow.
And, they just were ecstatic. My whole family was, and the thing I remember so much vividly to this day is when you'd go up to a free throw line, you'd see that WGN camera pull right up in front of the basket, right in the face. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Wow. Wow. Rich?
My family was so ecstatic. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and they were all there. There's a classic picture of in the Journal Star of my mom and my 2 sisters holding up the Bergan B signs, and one of my sisters was pregnant at the time, and I think my sister and brother-in-law had to get back to Chicago for something, and they were so mad because they were going to miss the championship game, and they were just and I remember them telling me stories about how like some of their friends were watching the game on WGN, and they, you know, they'd show me shooting a free throw, and they go, "Oh my God, that's Mimi's brother. It's got to be." and so it was, you know, our families were just so ecstatic to be there. I mean, our whole community was so excited to be there, and the students, and the faculty, and it was a pretty exciting time. It was a lot of fun. It was great to go through it. Yeah, great highlight of my life.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
Guys,
Yeah.
didn't we go out to the church basement in Kickapoo and people were going to their house and getting food for us and bringing it down there? Didn't we take the fire engine out there, or am I delusional?
No, we rode a fire engine. Your mom got it organized. And
Okay.
yeah, we had 2 fire engines, one in Peoria and one in Kickapoo.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys had a celebration at the school on Sunday. Is that correct?
Yes.
What was that like?
Unbelievable. I mean, just, you know, it was almost like playing in the game as far as what you were feeling and the appreciation from everybody and
Mm-hmm.
just the high you were on. I mean, you had disappointment from losing, but you know what? We're second in state. How many teams didn't even
Right.
get to state?
Right. Absolutely.
It's a child, you know, a
Guys.
kid's dream growing up to play in the assembly hall, and we got to experience it. That's something I'll never forget.
We were pretty low Saturday night after that game. That was hard, and you know, it's a life lesson. But Sunday, it was as if we won. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the reception that we got, and the people that followed us on the fire trucks, and I mean, it was really fun. And,
Yeah.
And I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Scott that at the pep rally at the school stood up there and said, "And you know what? Principal said there's no school tomorrow." Everybody went crazy, and the friend they go said, "Well, I guess there's no school tomorrow then." And Scott just did that
remember
on
that.
his own.
That's a good story.
Well, one thing's for certain, I never forgot you guys, and I remember your run vividly. And this happened when I was playing with the Trotters. I spoke to the kids at Notre Dame High School, and I saw that your trophy is in the trophy case there. And I was like, wow. I was like, there's that trophy. So have you guys gone into Notre Dame High School to see your old hardware? And are you happy that it still is being displayed, even though the school has a different name?
I haven't seen it lately, but I have seen it in the past, and it's just a representation of, you know, I think of Rudy Keeling when I see that. You know, Rudy deserved that trophy, deserved that year. I think it kind of elevated him to get to Bradley to coach.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up being a commissioner of basketball, I think, in
ECAC conference.
Yeah. And he did some wonderful things. It was a shame that we didn't get to see him before, you know, he passed away, because we all loved him so much. But he, you know, him and his wife didn't want us to see the pain that he was in. But Rudy Keeling was a very, very special person in all our lives. So that's what I think.
He was a great coach and a great man, both, and very influential in my life. I'll never forget Rudy, ever.
Wow.
He was one of a kind. I mean, and we had such a good relationship with him. I mean, it was, I mean, he was our coach, but he was our friend, you know, and I just, you know, we played a lot of summer games, and every once in a while Rudy would step in and play, and he was fun.
Rudy was good.
He was, and I wish he'd have done it more often.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
He swatted my shots.
He might have been able to play for the Trotters with you, Boo.
I actually played against Rudy a couple of times up at Hostler Hall. Yeah.
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 I think
He was
Rudy
feisty. I remember him being very feisty.
Smack?
Pardon me?
Did he talk any schmack when he was playing?
Not really. I just remember how tight his shorts were. I remember that. They were very, very, remember the bikey coaching shorts? Remember those?
Yeah.
Yep.
They were very tight and form fitting. I just remember that about Rudy.
Yeah.
So it's not to say I had a man crush. I just remember they were very tight.
Yeah. He was quick and he could shoot. And he had a move where he'd get under the basket, and if the bigger guys trapped him, he'd do like this fake bounce pass around their leg, and then he'd go up and make the layup. I'll never
Like
forget
Larry
that.
Bird.
Yeah.
Pat, he would post me up, and he would hold the ball like behind me, waiting for me to go and reach for it, and then he'd fade away, and then bank it in and laugh the whole time. He was just messing with me the whole time. But I remember that.
Oh yeah, those open gyms were awesome with Rudy in the summers. Those were so much fun.
But
Can you guys tell me?
He would make us play together and kind of develop a camaraderie and but there was some great games in the summertime.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Can you guys tell me about some of the other members of the team? I know you spoke a little bit about Wittig and a lot about McCabe. Can you tell me about the other guys on the team? And do you keep in touch with any of them?
Casey Welch. Casey guarded me every day in practice. He made me a lot better. He was a very good defensive player, and he knew his role, and he did it very well. The last time I saw him was at a funeral here recently. I think he got up and spoke, and he was just unbelievable. Rich, you were there, I think.
Yeah.
And, as far as some of the other guys, like Bob Shermer and Paul Cupford, I think Rich can speak about them. But that's who was instrumental as far as I was concerned on the team, because he was making me better and making me a better player. So, Pat, I don't remember who guarded you. Was it Carino?
Probably Carino or Steve Franks, I'm guessing. They were the other guards. Ruffin maybe a little bit. But Casey, was
John Ruffin.
Johnny Ruffin, yeah.
Yeah, there've been a lot of Ruffins that played basketball in Peoria. So
yeah,
John Ruffin.
Johnny Ruffin, yep. But Casey was a great sub, and Bob Shermer came in and always was good, and Paul Cupford, and we had some good depth on that team, and great guys, great group of guys.
We went 9 deep on that team.
Yeah, we did.
Tom and Scott never came out, but it was the others that rotated.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But they were all good.
Yeah.
But no one wanted to guard Paul Cupford.
I remember that.
So anytime there was a scrimmage or something, McCabe would grab me and said, "You're guarding me." He didn't want Cupford guarding him.
Why is that?
It was like one big elbow. I mean, he was a bull in a china shop, and he would throw his body around, but he was a good player, and
he was.
He was very good.
I remember Boo when he came in a game. It might have been one of the state tournament games. He came in and, he really wasn't supposed to shoot too much. And he got the ball right away, and he's like close to the free throw line. He threw up a hook shot, almost knocked the backboard off. And I yelled at him the whole time down the floor. I was so mad. But he would do that once in a while. Yeah.
Yes, he would.
Yeah. He had a really good senior year that next year. playing with Scott the year after we graduated. Paul did.
Oh,
But yeah, it was a great group of guys. Boy, Rudy really conditioned us too. Remember that, Rich? All the running in the preseason and practices were hard. We'd run those steps, suicides. I mean, he worked us hard.
No.
He really did. And he was a great strategic coach too. I mean, we ran good stuff. We ran a good motion offense. We ran that double high against the zone. We had a good press, played pretty good man to man. I mean, he really did a great job with us.
We did things that nobody else was really doing. I mean, we ran a motion, but we ran a 2-guard motion that nobody was doing that in 1980.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of zone offenses that were pretty good. And but I just remember just playing a lot of motion offense, and I just don't remember anybody playing us man to man very well.
Yeah, a lot of zones in the back then. I remember, especially against us.
Yeah.
I was surprised this state championship game. I got a lot of good shots on the out of bounds plays in the corners, and I was surprised that they didn't kind of catch on to that.
Yeah, Rudy called them 1 and 2, and I ran them when I coached. And they were great plays. One would come back ball side, and the other, the ball would be reversed. And I remember those were great plays. And you did a great job, Tommy, on those.
Well, I didn't shoot worth a darn the first 2 games, and I finally kind of caught my stride that championship game. And, I needed to step up because I just hadn't done very good shooting. But we just came up a little short, guys, and that's all there is to it. But I'm really proud of you 2 guys, and I appreciate playing with you. And no one ever really griped, even if they were a sub or whatever you want to call it, 6 man, and everybody got along, and we fought every night, and that's what mattered.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Yeah, our Hall of Fame reunion was awesome that weekend when we got inducted. That was a great weekend.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
That is awesome, guys. I remember you guys very well, and it's a pleasure to have you on this show. And oh wow, 1980, 40 years ago. 40 years ago, but you guys definitely left your mark. And I did a post about you guys maybe 2 years ago, and it had a huge response. So I'm not the only one that remembers. No one has forgotten the great run that you guys had in 1980. Before I go, do you guys still have your medal?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I didn't grab it, but I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Well, Pat, I wonder if everybody on the Zoom call can see your shirt.
Oh, the Bergan.
Oh, man, I remember those.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What's amazing is that you're able to fit your shirt from high school. I can't
was
fit
about
anything from high school.
145 in high school. Now I'm about 235. So
Wow.
I put on some size since then.
Wow.
Boo, what you don't understand is, like Pat said, he and I were both kind of late bloomers. I mean, we were not stars of our grade school teams. We were on the freshman team, but our freshman team was lousy. We won 3 games as freshmen. But we just kept sticking it out, and just kept playing and kept getting better, kept growing a little bit. But we were also a year younger than everybody else. I mean, Pat, I know you're young, and I was
September, you too.
I couldn't even drive to our practice as a senior until mid-October. So we're playing against some guys that are a little older than us, and you look at how you grew, and
right,
and how much bigger and stronger you are, a few years later than you were at that time, and that was the same with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Shermer was September too. He was young.
Yeah, we could have all been juniors.
Yeah.
Could have all been juniors.
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, fellas, this has been awesome. Thank you for coming on. And, It's on Facebook Live right now, but at the conclusion, I think it maybe takes about 10 or 15 minutes. It'll be on demand. So if anyone that didn't get a chance to see it live, it'll be on demand on my page and can be shared to make sure that everybody sees you guys. And I've enjoyed myself being with you. And I wish you guys all a wonderful Thanksgiving, and please be safe in these difficult times that we're going through right now. And I hope when I get back to Peoria that I have a chance to see you at some point. I wish you and your family well, and thank you for being on.
Thank
Boo.
you. Appreciate it a
Thank
lot.
you very much.
Appreciate it.
Happy
Most
Thanksgiving,
welcome.
guys.
Giving. Yep.
Thank you. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you Monday. We have a big lineup coming up after the Thanksgiving break. Take care and peace, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Boo.
Bye.
Bye.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye.